This is another Poet Award General Report. And here's your General, Joshua David Ling.
Good luck.
Hello, friends and people. It's good to have you back for the month of November. I know it's December when you're seeing this, but that's the way it's going to be. Yeah, last month was crazy. That is October. Absolutely crazy with all the kinds of stuff going on. I am severely hit by the seasonal stuff this year. I have been severely hit by the seasonal stuff. Allergies and just there's a lot of barometric pressure stuff going on, where the house gets all hot and dry and everything outside is different, and it gets really crazy. So that's going on, and a couple of my money opportunities have been dwindling. A couple others have been growing. I've been selling stuff on eBay. That's been going fairly well, and I've made the decision recently to, because it's such a money sink right now, put Project Piper completely on hold. We'll see how that goes if I keep it on hold, because it's something that I really, really love. I love the idea of it, but when it comes down to it, Project Piper is really just a hook. It's a really cool hook that will get passersby to listen to poetry a lot quicker, particularly live and in person, but also online, doing shorts and that sort of a thing. My hope one day is to be able to do it through Omegle and record some of those interactions like some people do. I don't recommend Omegle, by the way, but it exists. It's a thing. If you don't know what it is, Omegle is a sort of notorious social media network, I guess you could say, but it's a little bit less than that. It's almost as if you mixed TikTok with live chatting, and you could see where that goes wrong very quickly, but also you could skip immediately. My hope with that is to be able to do poetry stuff and get some people interested in what I do through that. But also not just the people that I live chat with, but with the recordings, get people's reactions to what I do, and post those for the entertainment of people. My wife's out right now at a birthday party with the kids. I have some house cleaning to do, but I've been feeling bad all day until right when they left, and even then it took a minute. I had to get some coffee in me, had to get back on the horse, but I'm almost through today, so that's been going well. Figured I'd stop, have a pipe. At least the dice figured I'd stop, have a pipe. But let me go ahead and light up. Yeah, so I've been seeing a lot of good feedback from the first month of me doing it this way, the General's Report, and I think I'm a fan. There may be some months where I don't film anything. I kind of doubt that, but we will see. I've contacted a few people from the Moscow crowd, Fight, Laugh, Feast, all those guys, to see if they want to come back on Poets at War in the future. We'll see. Jason Farley, as you guys probably already know, was on recently, and we had a really good time talking to him. I always have a good time talking to Jason. So I think that the thing that I am looking forward to most this year, with the rest of this year, is continuing my work with Poetry for Warriors. as some of y'all no doubt have seen, especially if you're on like the Spotify feed or something, I am now doing daily poetry for warriors, and I'll have to clip this if I'm not. So pressure's on, right? But Alex and many other people have always said that my poetry works so better read aloud, especially by me. And so even though I want to do these big productions, I think there will be something very valuable in having more frequent, but still well done, easier production, audio only deals. And you can follow the stories and read them that way. It's all about this little by little, inch by inch mentality that I kind of got from my father and various influences growing up, but also just the book not the Plodcast. The Plodcast is a podcast. It's a good one. But Productivity by Doug Wilson. He really lays forward how you can be realistically creatively productive by doing tiny bits over time. And it's such a no-brainer sort of solution, but a lot of people just feel like they can't do it. And I've even been struggling with doing it lately, just because the season's changing so much. Really does mess with me. It messes with my stomach, it messes with my mind, and there's just a lot of stuff going on right now that's just been really distracting. But the point is, I'm always coming back. And even though I have to put Project Piper on hold, I can refocus into this Poetry for Warriors daily thing. And when I say daily, obviously not Sunday, but all the other days you'll have a chapter, right? And that's the hope. We can fill in all those extra gaps, all those extra holes in the calendar with some good quality content, and hopefully baptize your imagination with stories, which is the whole point of this to begin with. Not just talking about art, but doing art. And hopefully that inspires people to do their own art as well. We had our in-person CSRA Brood meeting just recently. And once again had the same number of people, about 4 besides myself and Hazel. But Hazel has been coming for a couple reasons. Some I won't say specifically, but the one that I will say is she's very interested in being about her father's work in that very Jesus-like way. I'm not saying that this is like definitely going to be her career or anything, but she loves telling stories and she loves art. And hearing other artists and being comfortable around artistic people is something I want her to get from an early time period. I don't want her to just be comfortable with salt of the earth people, but also some flighty people, right? Not all artists are flighty, but a lot are. And I want her to be able to just be comfortable with everybody and know how to talk to them even when they disagree. And while we've only had 2 meetings and there's not a whole lot of disagreement yet, I think that, we can get to that point eventually and it'll be healthy discourse. And I think that's important for her to see, as well as just, how artists should share with one another. And work and upgrade their own abilities through feedback. This is something that many artists don't end up having and don't end up knowing that they need until they need it, right? And it's kind of like when you grow up without a dad. When you're an artist that grows up without other artists, without other creative minds to, figure things out. This is not a special class of person by any stretch. I'm just talking about people who do it versus people who don't do it. People who think about it versus people who don't think about it, right? if you're alone in thinking about magical worlds inside your own imagination, it's going to be incredibly lonely. Because a lot of people aren't that interested. And if you can't learn the skills, the practical skills to capitalize on those ideas and those inspirations, then yeah, you're going to be incredibly lonely. And I was for a very long time. Even though my father was into music and my mother was into various things, she was like the only one I could really talk to. And even then, she was not someone who was like writing novels and stuff and didn't have a lot of experience in that, right? It wasn't until I really started looking online and finding like-minded people, and sort of trying to bring them together. Some people don't get along, but trying to be a peacemaker among folks and get people to realize, hey, we really are all in the same boat and we should help each other. It's all really good and important. Which I guess I can get to a little more of Poets at War Press. Yeah, we have the name, but, we got to get all kinds of stuff still. But Alexander Robertson and I are working on trying to make a publishing house, record label, the whole 9 yards, every single type of media you can think of, as one company to baptize the imagination of our consumers, our customers, and to be a true friend to artists, a David and Jonathan kind of friend. And doing that is going to take a lot. Right now we're working on the core documents of our vision for the company. And that takes time. And yeah, a lot of people don't put this out at this point in time, but I'm just mentioning it because I'm trying to share the steps that I'm going through right now. I recently just put out a page to Alex, and he's going through it and giving his thoughts, and we go back and forth, and we're building this company together piece by piece. And before we can even think about capital, we need to know what we need capital for. And it may not be that we need a whole lot of capital to start, because we have a lot of IP, intellectual property. We have a lot of contractors for intellectual property, a lot of friends, and we also have a lot of, and I say contractors, there's no contracts yet, but people who are potential contractors. And there's a lot of experience through doing everything that I'm doing. And so we're going to learn as we go, and we're going to grow as we can. And I'm very excited about, sharing that journey with you. If there's any thoughts that you guys have on that, whether suggestions or interest or anything of that nature, just let me know. With that being said, I probably need to focus up, finish my smoke because it's not staying lit very well, and get back to the last couple things I need to do today. Biggest of which is probably clean my office. Good gracious, it's been crazy. Alright, y'all. Hello, friends. What's the word? More General's Report stuff. So, fun. It's midday. I figured I'd try doing this midday with my midday coffee, which I've already finished. The wife wanted to hang out and talk for a few, so we did. And now she's headed off somewhere, and I'm talking to you. Just seemed like the right thing to do. Today I wanted to talk about some specifics in regard to bureaucratic scamming of various sorts. One of the biggest things going on right now that drives me absolutely up the wall is 501c3s. A lot of people don't know, but 501c3 was essentially created in order to keep the church from having any say in anything. You can't promote candidates politically. There's all kinds of, shackles. You can only work with other 501c3s for the most part. Can't do anything for profit. it's largely hampered the church in some crazy ways. Now, there are plenty of churches that have faithfully stayed out of any real incorporation and have maintained right under the Constitution, which they have, as tax-free organizations. That's the way to go. This is a battle I've been fighting for a really long time. One of the reasons that people do not realize that this is a thing, but one of the ways that this practically affects people. So there are churches who would like to have, someone who maybe even is in their local congregation or local community come and put on a show and do some kind of split, like a music artist kind of a thing, and do a split for tickets. And unfortunately, because that's a for-profit endeavor, unless the artist has their own 501c3 situation, it becomes very, very weird. Very, very weird. And so there's all kinds of red tape and nonsense. But this all kind of came about because of things like Christian schools wanting to rent out a church building for a for-profit school. And many places have been sued by the IRS. Many churches have been sued for the infringement of going into for-profit business as a 501c3. So it's so dumb. It's so dumb. The red tape is so dumb. And it's all a scam. It's all a scheme. It's all pyramid stuff. And people know this stuff. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, one of the reasons that I'm bringing this up for artists is you might want to go work with the church. And the church tells you no. This has happened to me. And it's happened to a lot of people that I know. And I certainly am not forming a 501c3. I will also say that another example of this kind of bureaucracy, this kind of evil red tape, because that's what it is, it's straight evil. It's not so much red tape, it's more just scam. I just had a potential client want to do a Zoom call interview, and this is not the first time this has happened. This has happened many times. If you ever go into media, social media, this kind of a thing, this is all too common. People running the MLM type scheme and getting people into the meetings based on job, the assumption of a job interview. And they change up the wording and stuff to protect themselves legally so it doesn't look like they lied. But it's so nebulous and stupid that I can smell them a mile away, but some of them are just enough to get me into the meeting, and then I immediately leave. That's what happened today. And so that's just something to keep an eye out for. I've been, honestly, the number one place where I get scammed is looking for work. It is so dumb. And so absolutely shameless, taking advantage of people who are looking for money, and not able to find it. Now, as far as money goes, we're doing okay. God's been providing. I'm not worried about it. And I really wasn't actually angry or even sad about this. I'm just generally so done with bureaucracy. I wore this shirt to the meeting, right? Which was supposed to be one-on-one, right? And I wear stuff like this to interviews. And a lot of people go, oh, you shouldn't do that. He's like, you should look professional, this, that, and the other. And I say, well, this is professional in Hawaii. Just because it's not professional in Georgia. I don't know that I'm not meeting someone in Hawaii half the time, especially when they're online interviews. But even beyond that, I am dressed, I perform, I speak the way I am. Now, I might turn it up or down a notch, depending on the situation. And some people I can tell are immediately put off, and I can bring it back to more conservative looking sort of situations. And not talking politically, I'm just saying conservative in general, right? Or I can lean into that, depending on what I see that they like. I am still being all things to all people, but I am also not lying about who I am. Alex and I are still working on our business, which is going to be called Poets at War Press. And this is one of the big things that comes to mind as we're talking through this kind of stuff. We are not going to be nonprofit unless there's some secret nonprofit situation that would actually work in our favor and work to subvert the nonsense. And as far as some of the for-profit stuff, there's shackles on that we want to crack and get rid of. And there's just so many horrible ways that not just the government, but people within private industry are hamstringing one another. And one of those big ways is lying about interviewing people. So yeah, this is a little more negative than I usually do, but I can turn that into a positive. If you are hiring, don't worry about being as professional as you need to be. Now when I say that, don't be a casual jerk, but be sincere, straightforward. You know, yes, you want contracts, but you also want a handshake. Both, right? And so don't just treat someone like something you can get something out of. That's a person, right? Our goal in this business is to baptize the imagination of our audience and to be a friend to the artist, a real friend, someone who is helping them with their endeavors, not just lining our own pockets. This is a big deal for me. And so, on top of that, do well, be good in your own business, even if you're some kind of solopreneur. But also, if you're a writer, if you're an artist, and you really want to make someone mad at a villain, bureaucracy is a great one. I'm just saying, people are so fed up with it in the world right now. It's a great aesthetic choice that can be every bit as evil as a typical, mustache twirly villain that wants to kill you or take over the world, but ends up being so much stronger. This was Stone Cold, right? Stone Cold Steve Austin in the WWF. He got injured legitimately and had to be off TV for a while, and they ran a storyline where when he was champion and he got injured, he was told that he could not come back and wrestle until his injury was done, and he had to give up the belt. He had to give up being champion. And people were mad about that because it was a long time coming for him to be a champion, and people were really getting on board with him. And he kept showing up to work and really stuck it to the boss who was claiming safety this and blah 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 that, but it really came out in the end, no, I just don't want you here. You don't represent me well. You don't represent my company well. And that was a great story. Great story. So for you artists out there wanting to spice up some of your stories, you can do this in any time period. There's bureaucracy everywhere. Lying, two-faced shadow governments are everywhere. They are. And you can utilize them and leverage them into your own fiction. So, with that being said, we'll move on to whatever the next clip is. Good evening, my friends. How are you? It's good to see you. Man, my beard is bearding tonight. So today was good. I had a lot of inklings toward some fixes I'm going to be doing on my daily routine, particularly in what I like to call the triads. The triads are illumination, invigoration, and engraving. Illumination is my art, my AI art, all that stuff that I do with it, and the animation that goes into what I'm doing, which, by the way, aside before I continue, Procreate Dreams comes out in like 12 days. I have no clue if I'm going to have the cash for it or not. It's only like $20, but still, once I get it, I'm going to be using it a lot and playing with it and learning it, because super fancy, even for video editing. That's the thing. It's very, very, very versatile. If I pause, I'm packing and will be lighting my pipe, for those of you who are just listening. Yeah, back to the triads. Illumination, invigoration. Invigoration is when I am creating the audio versions. And then engraving is my writing and publishing process on the blog on my website. Which, by the way, that's been going well too. I've been getting more visitors to the website, reading my stories. I've been getting more comments from folks who've been reading. And I think we're going to be reaching some kind of critical mass within the next year of people who are actually interested in reading serial poetry, which gets me really excited. Because there's going to be enough of it to read, right? I have tons written. I have 400 or 500 poems written, and I've only published maybe a seventh of that, or an eighth, something like that. But people are interested, so I'm excited. That being said, I've posted more than that. Probably more like a fifth, maybe. But I have a lot. I have decided that I am going to be doing, because Poetry for Warriors has been doing so well on this podcast situation, within the actual Poets at War podcast feed, and people have generally been giving good feedback. I think that I'm going to turn my invigoration triad less toward creating the full radio dramas and doing lumping the full radio drama process into the into the illumination process as part of the full gamut animation. That way I can record more and have more on hand regularly. I still have a lot recorded already, but that way I'm recording more often. And just like invigoration invigorates the story and invigorates you, hearing the poetry read, it also invigorates me. Because I get excited about my stories when I hear them come out of my mouth. So that's one thing. Let me light up real quick. One more time. Okay, I think we're good. Tonight's really nice. It's like 66 degrees out here. So it's just a little bit of a chill. Nothing really crazy, just when it breezes. Perfect smoking weather. Sometimes I like it a little colder, but yeah. So some more tyranny that's going on. Might as well talk about with you guys. I might get back to the triads in a minute. I don't know. Just kind of going off the top of my head. People under 14 in Great Britain will, and subsequently born, will no longer be able to purchase tobacco or tobacco products. That's fun, huh? I guess if you're a farmer, you can grow it and smoke it, but who's a tobacco farmer in the UK? If you are a tobacco farmer in the UK, we need to be friends. Hit me up. I'll give you all a free ad. But yeah, tyranny everywhere. You got Indy Gregory. I'm not even going to go into that nonsense. By the time this comes out, she might be gone. Great Britain's sucking right now. We need Arthur. I don't want to go that far into that. You guys know what I'm talking about. As far as my other triads, I'm doing really well with my illumination. What I've been doing is working, generally speaking, I'm pretty free on Thursdays and Fridays, sometimes Wednesdays. The rest of the year is going to be pretty free on Wednesdays because we have a bi-weekly church thing in the evening on Wednesdays, and that's not happening again till next year. And so hopefully I will be able to incorporate more of that. My Saturdays have been pretty free lately, and I have a few coming up that I'm going to be working, but I've been putting a lot of effort on those days toward the latter end of the week into the illumination, and have since found speed I did not know I had. I don't know what really changed other than the fact that I am incredibly incredibly agile and productive in the morning time. And on those days, I basically tell myself, till noon or you finish. This week, I got it done, all except for one image on Thursday. And I finished today, Chapter 6 of Ramming Little Mermaid, A True Friend. That one was interesting because I normally work in a linear mode, matching the narration to the action. While there was a little bit of that in this one, it was much more montagey. It was much more like a montage of scenes from Serena's... Oh, hello. Hello, kitty. Yeah, kitty, show up. Montage from some of our... Hello, Denise. It's Denise. She's one of our outdoor kitties that has kind of adopted us. Anyway, she's saying hi. I pick her up, but she's a little crazy and smoke. So, anyway, I think that with illumination, like I said, I'm picking up a lot more steam, and I got everything done on Thursday except for one image. And today I animated it. I finished that one image, I animated it, and I got it all done. And I can't be more pleased. I'm really, really happy. I might do some extra art this week. I'm not really sure yet, but tomorrow I definitely need to get my next round of clips finished. That's something I'm trying to figure out how it slots in. I'm trying to do clips as close to the finished edit of a podcast episode as I can. I need to do clips for the Ilanwi episode of Poets at War. So, also one little random side thing. I love the Horned King causing our technical difficulties, and I might keep that a running joke in the future. The Oracular Pig. I think that's hilarious. Yeah, I've just been working hard. Things have been really tight. I've been looking for some extra work, but God's not been giving it. It's not that I lack work. That's the thing. I have plenty of work, plenty of great work. And I'm doing it and trying to be faithful in it while also looking for more money-related work. And this is the problem every good man is going to be facing over the next however long. However long we're being judged by God for our killing, murderous ways and our laziness. And I find that the best things to do to combat it are take care of your own family, take care of the others around you as best as you can, within your means, not forsaking your family. And, work hard. There's a song called Amarillo Sky. I think I've brought it up before. Jason Aldean, good old school country song. Says just take the tractor another round and pull the plow across the ground and he sends up another prayer. Says, Lord, I never complain, I never ask why. Please don't let my dreams run dry underneath this Amarillo sky, yellow sky. And now obviously Amarillo is a place in Texas, but Amarillo is Spanish for yellow. Yeah, I mean, you always worry you're not doing enough. And that's always part of it. But that worry can't ever hold you back from being faithful for what God's put in front of you. And quite frankly, He's not opening doors yet. Which means I'm probably doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Right? This is counterintuitive to the way we think today, especially, bootstrapping America, right? Pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. That's right. But, get her done. But, for real, man, if God's not opening the doors and you're applying places and getting scammed like I was recently with an MLM and all the other kinds of stuff that are going on, if that's happening to you, guess what? That's happening to everybody who actually wants to work. Because guess what? People who are hiring, they don't want to work either. We got chronic laziness across the spectrum. And who is God going to bless? The one who has his eyes open for opportunity, yes. But that opportunity is not everything. You are not the one who provides for your family ultimately. You can only keep your eyes open and your hands moving. I need a t-shirt that says that. T-shirt ideas, Discord, Alex, please. It was eyes open, hands moving. Do something cool, guys. Make something cool. Don't sit there and be afraid of the tools, the new tools. I just saw, this is an aside into AI stuff that's really interesting, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but Gen 2, which is a organization that does AI stuff, they recently released a motion brush, or are releasing soon, I'm not sure which. And you can bet I'm excited to try and pair that with Procreate Dreams. Check out Motion Brush by Gen 2 if you get a chance. If you want to see something really cool. Also, I found some other Zoom stuff with CapCut recently that people have been using on TikTok, and I had no clue how they were doing it. Except I know how to do it manually, but manually is like 10 times longer and harder. This is like AI cutout parallax stuff. It's really cool. Ooh, nice breeze. You know what? I know this will copyright strike me, but Disney, you don't deserve it. Winds in the east, mist coming in, like something is brewing, about to begin. Can't put me finger on what lies in store, but I feel what's to happen, all happened before. And it will. And that's the good guys win. Every single time, the good guys win. This is not yin and yang. This is not a perpetual battle of good versus evil. No, the good guys win. Because God loves the good guys. That's what the Psalms say over and over and over and over. Even when the good guys slack or can't keep up, God's got them. And He's got you. Because I know most of you guys listening right now are the good guys. So I'm going to finish my smoke, finish up what I'm doing, and we'll see you back on the next segment of this whole thing. If I get any more, which I should. It's still early in the month. Good night. Hola. So I've been making some pretty cool progress on some of my selling on eBay. And my church graciously has gifted me some old PCs that I'm going to be working on. Retro PCs are a big deal. And so I'm going to be fixing these guys up I need a few things. I'm going to be getting them, and we're going to go from there. But check these guys out. So the one on top, I have, let me get this off of here so you can see it. Careful. It's my screwdriver set. Anyway, this is the first one. It's all, over the place because I took it apart to look into the internals and see how it's doing. It's a Compact Presario 5190. I haven't looked at the years exactly yet, but there's the giant hard drive. Then we have a Packard Bell Legend 415 CD and a Dell Optiplex GX110. These are all like mid-early 90s, I think, generally speaking, based on the components. And I'm very excited about cleaning them up and reselling them. If you've ever read any of my science fiction, in the Idiot's Guide to Illegal Tech Repair, you'll know that I am sort of a mad scientist when it comes to making all these sorts of, I love fiddling with things. It's a lot of fun to fiddle with things. And learn all kinds of new ways to fix stuff. And there's a glory in taking something that is broken or useless and giving it a new life, because that's exactly what God does with us. Just saying. And there's a lot of broken ideas and things that I take and turn into stories as well. And so this is just part of the glory of man, taking something that's broken and fixing it and reorganizing and remixing all of creation to serve God. Just a small thought that I'm going to add in here. Nothing really crazy. I know that was kind of rapid fire, but pray that eBay continues to go well, because it seems like the best job for me right now. And I'm going to be looking to slowly kind of trade my way up, do the flipper kind of thing. And pray that I can do that to supplement all the other stuff I'm doing. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey everybody, I'm hopping in on voiceover over this decorating time lapse. We are decorating our Christmas tree. This was the 20th of November, and I'm recording this actually on the 28th of November, working on finalizing the General's report. And I just thought, what should I put over this time lapse to make it particularly nice? So I'm going to play a little bit of music in the background. Hopefully I can find something nice and royalty free, whatever. Not that it matters too much for this vlog, but I thought I'd go ahead and read a poem, because that's kind of what I do. We'll do Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, such a classic, Christmas Bells. So a lot of people know it as I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. So we'll go ahead and start this. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And thought how as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolved from night to day, a voice, a chime, a chant sublime of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then from each black accursed mouth the cannon thundered in the south, and with the sound the carols drowned of peace on earth, goodwill to men. It was as if an earthquake rent the hearthstones of a continent, and made forlorn the households born of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. The broadcast is baking in my Apple oven, and it is at 54%. Hello. It is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. I might have been able to get some pictures and footage into the vlog, I'm not sure, but you will have seen those if those were a thing. Didn't feel like throwing any video footage or taking any video footage during. I much rather like talk to you directly than kind of just like show you what's happening to me most of the time. I don't know why. It's just what I'm comfortable with. But yeah, when this is baking, the videos and stuff, it takes a while, and I'm usually kind of pulled off my game on a lot of other things, trying to figure out where I'm going to hold this. And I end up doing all the little things. One of the little things I've been doing is missed play. I don't necessarily recommend it, but it's on Android. If you like playing some games and earning a little bit of money, I can let you know about it. Like I said, it's a very little amount of money. You like get gift cards for playing games. It's nothing crazy. But I do that when I want to save up for stuff. So I'm saving up for a card to give to Casey in order to get cash to get Procreate Dreams, which is like $20. So yeah, it's gonna take a couple days, but not too bad as far as saving up. Because I haven't done it in a while. If you keep doing it, they kind of throttle you. It's annoying. But anyway, yeah. So that's what's going on there. I'm super thankful for the Brood, man. Broodcast was super fun. We were able to hang out and talk to one another. Shout out to Daniel Reed especially. Hope he's doing well. Hope you're doing well, bud. We're still working hard. I'm selling a lot of CDs the past couple weeks. I've probably sold close to a dozen CDs in the past like 2 weeks. I've been really kind of churning through some of the Christmas stuff because people are buying Christmas CDs right now. Some classic ones, some not so classic ones, surprisingly, are moving, and I'm just trying to get more of them up there right now. Update on the PCs. I got a power supply tester, but the power supply of the one that's currently up there is non-standard, and so I'm gonna have to either plug and pray, which is what I'm looking at right now, or get a multimeter and a pinout and try to figure out which pins I need to jump in order to get it to start up and test it that way. Which, with this kind of thing, I'd rather kind of plug and pray, because quite frankly, everything looks super clean on that machine, and I'm just kind of interested to see what was wrong with it, if anything, other than being old. So these three might all just work. I don't know, but I generally don't like risking old power supplies being a problem. But with this one, it's just in such good shape. It just needs a good cleaning. I'm going to wait till I get it cleaned. Getting a cleaning kit for that. And then we'll move on, from there. So, yeah. Oh, I've got some stuff going for the website. So there's this thing that I've been working on for a while. Let me see, I can turn this around and show you. This is the task on my to-do list right here, this little world thing. Meta blog posts. Basically, I've been creating these meta posts for different characters. We'll show you Zoe real quick from Cracking the World. And so basically, this is her little profile page, her character profile. And I found a awesome, really well working simple keyword to link plugin. And basically all it does, and I may do this with some ads in the future, but for now it's just for the Metapedia pages. Basically, you can put in a keyword and a link, and everywhere on your site where that keyword is, it will automatically link. So I can have these characters and locations and whatever else dynamically linked to their sort of Wikipedia style articles about the characters and stuff. And so that's something that I've wanted to do for some time on these pages and stuff, and it's really gonna bump up my view counts and stuff in the future, and give people some really cool stuff that they can get into regarding lore of characters and things and stories. And so that's gonna be exponentially awesome going forward in the future. But also just working on a couple other things. I got some FTP access thanks to Samuel Royce for that, and I was able to clean up some stuff and make it a lot nicer. So I'm very happy about that. things are moving along super well, and I'm just looking forward to Christmas. You know, got a lot of work ahead of me, a lot of work still going on, and I actually got to get back to it. So, thank you all, and Merry Christmas.
For more insightful blogs and vlogs and videos on how to be a true bard, please visit joshuadavidling.com.
God of song, said the warrior bard, though all the world betray thee, one sword at least thy right shall guard.